What's up, guys? It's Yuga, voice of the dragons. As the title describes, really wanted to talk about my experience in Sedona. I had this really strong calling. I was supposed to go to Sedona, Grand Canyon for my birthday. That's something I denied myself in order for someone else to enjoy what they needed at the time. But at the end of June, I have the opportunity to take myself up to Sedona, and I literally only had enough money for gas. So with the car that I had at the time, I get all the stuff that I can get a bunch of my crystals, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do up there. I just have this instinctual urge that I needed to be up there. It was the utmost importance. If I thought about the word don't, I couldn't. I would just start breaking out in tears. So on my way up to Sedona, I'm already feeling everything that I need to feel. I'm doing a lot of releasing, a lot of heavy tears are coming out of me, a lot of internal insight about what I was really trying to understand about myself. And the whole time I'm going up there, I have this feeling that no matter what's going to happen, I know nothing is going to ever be the same. I'll never be the same again. And that my life ultimately would change for forever. So I'll try not to get into too many details because I know I can overtalk myself sometimes. But I get to town, I play some guitar, had some of my geckos with me because I really didn't want to be completely alone. But I know I had to do something. Like I said, I had no plans, just about no money. I was hoping I could sell some jewelry or some of my crystals or do some busking up there. And I did a little bit of busking. I made $1, and if you're still watching, if you're my subscriber, thank you so much. I remember you still. I appreciate how much you really love my music. And not too much is going on that day. I speak with some of the shop workers about some of the stuff that I'm working on. Using shungite to filter my water. I've got my whole thing right behind this charging. This is the only stand I got right now. But with the few people that I had talked to, the message was very clear that I was much more advanced than a lot of people, even people that had been really involved with the community of Sedona. If you don't really know much about it, it's considered the spiritual capital of the world. So I tried to find some stuff to do. Couldn't make it to the creek. It was just way too crowded, way too busy. Couldn't even get to the parking spot. But someone tells me that there's a free campsite a little closer up to Flagstaff. So on my way up there, I decided to head back down closer to the beginning of Sedona, and I go to Bell Rock. I needed to rest because I had been driving all day that day. Left at 6 in the morning, didn't really stop until I'd say about noon at that point. So I get to Bell Rock. I park by this tree. There's some shade. I try to take a nap, but I'm just sitting in silence. And as I'm sitting and just kind of breathing the air, feeling and observing Sedona, I hear, not just with my ears, I literally hear in my head this pulsing, vibrating sound. If you're familiar with a singing bowl, it's a lot like that. But it starts off with just a little ding, and then you feel this vibrating pulse shooting through your body. It was intense, and I had heard so much about the vortexes. I never thought I'd experience something that much, and I might get really emotional with this. Just FYI. So as I'm there and observing and sitting, found a lot of raw iron in the at Bell Rock, and I was closer to, I think it was the west part or the southern part. Can't remember. It was towards the bottom, but I drove about halfway through. There was a bunch of settlement and houses and stuff like that, but there was still plenty of stuff that was just natural. And then getting to my campsite, I didn't get there till about 4 o'clock. So I'd been driving quite a bit, and it was a very steep road. Definitely took my time. And as soon as I get to the campsite, I park my car, get my aloe vera plant, and I place it outside in front of the closest tree to the little fire pit. And as soon as I get to the tree, bam, there's a piece of organite. And I took that as a very good sign. that I had been gifted something from the land. Because I know a lot of people are doing the Organite movement, the gifting. And I had a feeling there was going to be more. I didn't want to look too much into it. So I ended up going back to my car. And when it comes to the Native American shamanic beliefs, as far as vision quests go, it's about the shaman separating himself from society and staying put in one spot for a few days. I really had to condense that into. There's supposed to be an overnight trip, but I ended up leaving just about the next day after, towards the end of the day. So I sit in my car and I'm just self reflecting a lot of crying. I cannot tell you how much I cried on that trip. But when I got to that campsite, it was the only way I could describe it. It was like if it was the last thing I could ever see in my existence, that would be what I want. And so as the night's going about, there's the full moon, it's shining so bright. I could still hear the vortex. And from what I was told by the spirits of the land, was that I was closer to one of the more ancient vortexes, and it was considered the biggest one as far as what I had been told. I really don't know too much about that. And I really wanted to sleep with my windows down, but something really told me it wasn't exactly the safest thing to do. So just had it cracked, and it got pretty cold, especially for the summer in Arizona. So the next day comes about, and I do my shamanic ritual. I get all my stones, I place them out, I let them charge, and I'm just walking around, and as I'm doing what I feel called to do, bam, 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 everywhere I go, it's directly guided to more pieces of organite. And altogether, I ended up getting about 6 or 7. And at the end of my ritual, I did something, and I really won't touch too much upon it because if you go there, you'll see it. I wanted to make a statement. And so I had carved my insignia into a tree. I hung up a dragon that I had been given, and I placed a bracelet that I had made. And on the ground, I'd made a statement, and I'll just leave it there because that's not what I'm trying to get at. But at the end of that ritual, I go to my car. I wanted to take a nap before I start driving back down to the valley. And I'm wanting to smoke my cigarette, but I hear a whisper in the wind. Just a little precursor. I had already picked up 2 feathers, a raven feather and a condor feather. And I had been thinking, man, it'd just be so cool if I could get that 3rd feather. That was a few hours before that. So as I'm getting ready to get in the car, I hear that whisper in the wind, and it tells me, just run down the mountain. Don't think about it, just run. And I go, I've been doing my stuff hours on end. Okay, let's do this. So I'm wearing shorts like this, basketball shorts, and I didn't realize it, but I had a giant stone, like about this size but round, and the sucker's about like 4 pounds. And this thing swinging back and forth in my pocket. It's really steep. It doesn't look that steep. It was really steep. And I'm just thinking, God, this is going to hurt like a mother if this actually hits me. I run for about a minute straight as much as I can without getting too far from my car. And that thing didn't touch me once. And I could feel everything as I'm running down. The sounds of myself. The essence of my being. Sprinting as hard and as fast as I could, not being touched once. And then I found a tree similar to where I had left the dragon. And as I walk up to it, I pause and I look around, and right behind me, there's that 3rd feather. That serene moment where I had made my statement and I had been given a feather of a bird I had never seen. That sounds like the stuff of a legend, honestly. I sat on the side of a mountain. I sat all night. I did my ritual, and I ran down the mountain as fast as I could, and I found the feather of a raven I had never even seen. If that ain't the stuff of legends, I don't know what is. There's really no way for me to translate what Sedona had done. But everything that happened after, it got really bad. In my personal life. You'll see the video, My Afterlife. That was just about right after. But what that mountain had done for me, what I had learned about myself, what I had learned about being a dragon shaman and understanding I had gone through my rites and I had passed my training and I was to become a dragon priest. The manifestation of everything, the alignment of my thoughts and my beliefs with what actually occurred. There is power if you believe there is power. There is much more than what you can see, taste, or smell or touch. You can see, taste, smell, or touch what is beyond what we observe. It takes a lot of heart, and I found that out the hard way. But that's really what I wanted to share with everyone was my vision quest. Because after that, I wasn't the same. And I changed, I would say, for the better. There was so much I wish I could touch upon, but it's, like I said, it's so hard to translate these feelings and the experience with words. And honestly, if you saw everything I saw, you still would not know what really happened to me. And I think that's the beauty of Sedona. If you feel that call, go. Don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Don't do anything but act upon what you believe and what you feel inside yourself. So everyone that's listening, thank you. The continued support of the Paradigm Shift community. You guys mean the world to me. Having people be engaging with myself, having a community to build upon and interact with on a daily basis. It's everything I've wanted, everything I've needed. And to anyone else that comes across this, check it out. I'll go ahead and link a description. I'll link the address of the website into the doobly-doo, or as we say, the description. But thank you so much for listening to this. Enjoy your day.